What's good, everybody? It's your boy Chris Crowley with Desire for Iron Fitness. Thanks for coming on board. Let's talk about what I refer to as functional bodybuilding. What are you talking about, Chris? What are you selling? All that stuff. Well, of course I am selling a product or a service, if you will, but that's not the purpose of this video. Bodybuilding, when I got into the sport, the art, the lifestyle, at a very later age in life, of course, I think I was in my early 40s, I had all those health problems that some of you may know about. I was 279 pounds at the heaviest that I weighed myself. I was probably closer to 300 at one point in time on a 5'9" frame. And high blood pressure, high cholesterol, A1C was getting close to type 2 diabetic, all that stuff. Now, when I got into natural bodybuilding, it was a vehicle to get me in great shape and to reverse my health problems. And all that happened. All right. And as much as I love the sport of bodybuilding, one thing that was lacking when only thing I focused on was bodybuilding was some of the other things that help you have a good quality of life. I have learned through bodybuilding that having lean body mass, okay, and you know, I would say I'm not huge, of course. I'm 180 pounds as of the time of this video. When I get down to contest weight, I'll probably be closer to 165 or so. But having this extra muscle has made a quality of life a little bit better. I feel a lot more that was crazy. I feel younger. I'm definitely a lot more mobile than I used to be. But one thing that was missing out of my training was my flexibility training. And I noticed I was really starting to get stiff in the morning. Not in a good way, okay? I'd wake up and just moving around a little bit was rather difficult, okay? And I was like, shoot, what the heck's going on? And it's so funny. A friend of mine who lives out in Virginia was talking to me about how he's really getting tired of his weight training, and he's been hitting the weights for decades, right? I've been hitting weights since I was a teenager, but it was always kind of like an off and on relationship. Sometimes I would take as much as 2 years away from the gym kind of thing. This guy hasn't. I mean, shoot, he's been definitely hitting the weights hard since high school, and he's a little bit older than me. And he's just like, man, I'm just getting tired of it, right? And his biggest complaint was lack of mobility. I was like, oh, well, shoot, bro. I got the solution for you. Yeah, what's that? DDP yoga. I'm not selling DDP yoga, guys. I'm not affiliated or anything like that. He goes, what the hell is DDP yoga? And I brought up Diamond Dallas Page, who was a wrestler in the 90s with WCW and WWE at one point in time. And he started his wrestling career a little bit later in life. I think he started around 35 or so, which in pro wrestling is next to ancient, right? Got beat up a lot. You guys can sit there and say wrestling is fake, blah, 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 blah. I wouldn't say it's fake as much as it is predetermined. Okay, like you know who's gonna win, right? But you can't fake gravity. You got Macho Man Randy Savage jumping off the top turnbuckle and landing with an elbow on you. That's not fake, okay? You got a steel chair smacking you in the back. Yes, I get it that they do it in a way that it's not gonna injure you, right? But those bumps still hurt, all right? And these guys are still getting beat up. And his mobility was going to crap. In fact, I think he herniated some discs. I can't remember. And he was laid up at home, and his wife was doing this yoga. And he's like, what the heck are you doing? Well, he started doing yoga and incorporating some of the physical training things that he had to do with his PT, with his physical therapy. He had to start doing some of that stuff to be better off, right? And lo and behold, there he was in his late 50s, having some great mobility, and his program was helping out other people. So I was telling my buddy about that. I'm like, well, shoot, maybe I'll get back on there. All right, why specifically DDP yoga? Well, look, folks, I don't mean to disparage anybody. I respect everybody's faith, okay? But as a Catholic, I did not want to engage in any practice that might involve other religious philosophies, okay? Now, Am I being a little bit too scrupulous? Perhaps, all right, but I don't want to get into, say, a yoga studio that's going to have a lot of things that go against my faith. Again, you do you, I respect it, but I just can't go there. Whereas DDP doesn't even get into that kind of stuff. He's just, all right, going to touchdown, going to this move, going to that move, boom, you're good. So basically, Chris, are you saying you're just adding bodybuilding and yoga together? A little bit more than that, okay? So again, the bodybuilding is basically lifting heavy things and eating good food so that I don't have a really nice physique covered in about 5 layers of fat, okay? And then you got to do your cardio. Well, thing about cardio is most bodybuilders will get up on a treadmill or a step mill or whatever and just crank out 45 minutes, hour and a half, sweating their butt off, which is great. Trust me, it works, right? But where's the transfer over? I'll give you this. If you're using a step mill, that's definitely got some carryover into the real world, because you might go up about 40 flights of stairs and it won't kick your butt. But walking on a treadmill, 1, is mind numbing. 2, it's not the same as propelling your body on what I refer to as God's treadmill, right? I'm here, this is God's treadmill, okay? But what I do to actually make it a little bit more effective is wear this vest. This is I got this at Dick's Sporting Goods. I think I spent around $200. It has these weights on it that are removable. So you can go from like 20 pounds all the way up to 60. I've got 50 pounds. When I've used 60 pounds, it has really kicked my butt. So I've got 50 pounds on here and walking the dogs outside, making sure I get some variable terrain. I know some of y'all live in flatter areas. Like when I used to live in Illinois, they called us flatlanders for a reason. There's not many hills out there. Here in Ohio, depending upon where you live, some areas very mountainous. I'm in the Cleveland area, so ish. But my neighborhood's got a nice walking trail that has some incline. Okay, so it's cool. I definitely get a good sweat going on. But this also has a little bit of carryover. All right, we saw a couple years back just how fragile our civilization is. Literally, the world shut down for what was supposed to be 2 weeks to flatten some sort of curve. Turned out to be, shit, how long was it? Practically over a year, if not more. Okay, we saw how quickly our society went downhill. And if you think that that wasn't a test run to make things even worse sometime in the future, then you ain't paying attention in history class, okay? Now, having this vest on kind of gives a carryover for in the event that the zombie apocalypse comes and I got to get to moving, I can walk for a couple of miles. Shoot, I've walked with this thing on for 5-6 miles at a stretch. All right, I can carry things, right? It's kind of where that's going. All right, so back to what I was talking about. There was a jogger coming by and got to make sure I control these dogs. So in the event that you got to run to the hills, you should be taking outside walks with some weight on you, because it is going to help your body be conditioned for what might come ahead. God forbid it happens, but it might, right? Adding an element of suck to the things you already do will make when you have to do it, and it does suck, less difficult. There's a saying, the more you sweat and train and the less you bleed on the streets or something like that. I'm definitely missing the quote up here, but you get the point. All right, train, you're going to train like you fight, or you're going to fight like you train. So train hard. All right, basically what this all boils down to is, having a great physique is awesome, but having basically all the elements that make for a healthful life, a good quality of life, is extremely, and if, in my opinion, more important. All right, that's not to say that you can just say to yourself, well, I go to the gym and I do some yoga, so now I can have that cheesecake. You want to have the least amount of body fat as possible that can still be somewhat sustainable. So men, basically around 8 to 12%, ladies, say around 15 to 18, maybe even upwards of 20. All right, for hormone production. That's what it basically boils down to, man. It's not about just looking good. However, you should take care of your body. This is the only one you get. It is a carrying case for your soul, but you should take care of it. St. Augustine is quoted as saying, or at least this is quote is attributed to him, take care of your body as if you're gonna live forever, and your soul as if you're gonna die tomorrow. Cool. I think that's a great way to think about it. Someday I'm not gonna be in my 40s. Well, in fact, in a couple of weeks I turn 50. But someday I'm gonna be in my 70s, hopefully. Hopefully be in my 80s, hopefully be in my 90s. And I don't want too much to change, all right? I get to see some awesome people on some weekends where my band is playing at some of the local bars, and these folks are in their 70s and their 80s, and they're up dancing and they're having a great time. And that's the kind of quality of life I want for my wife and I. It's not gonna happen if I don't start taking care of myself today with the long-term stuff in mind. It's just kind of like when you're saving up for retirement. It sucks that you're taking away that extra 20 bucks in your 20s, but you're thinking about, well, when I'm in my 70s and I won't be working, I don't want to have to worry about those 20 bucks. So that's what it boils down to. You know, think of the long-term goal as well as the short-term. Folks, hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out some of these others. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, share this content. Let's make this community grow, and love you. Unleash your champion.